This is the first video in a series explaining how to play Nothing Personal from Dice Tower Designs and Game Salute, designed by myself, Tom Vasel, and Steve Avery. What Steve and I did was we put together a game about the Mafia here, and hopefully these videos will help make it clear if the rulebook doesn't help you or you just want to see a visual representation on how the game is played. In this video, we're going to deal with setup and a basic overview of how to play the game. Now for setup, you have your board here. You don't have to put it in the middle of the table, but this is the board that's going to, most of the action is going to be taking place in the board. You also have a pile of money in the bank. Each player is going to start with $5 from this. They're also going to get their own player board and a bunch of tokens of their color. The player boards are not necessary as the game progresses, but they're there. They have some information. You can put your tokens and money on them, and so on and so forth. They're there to show you who you are. For example, here at Casa Han Ferrati, of course, Han always shoots first. At the bottom of the board is a scoring track. Now, each player gets a tuck box of their type, and in this tuck box, it's in between games. You keep your influence tokens. I put the starting money in there for each player, but it also, each player is going to get one of these little gangster meeples, and you'll have these here, and this is, they'll start here. This is a scoring track to show how much respect you have. Now, on the track here, you're going to be filling this up with gangsters at the beginning of the game. This gentleman here is Killer Mac Fido. He is always starts as the capo in every game. At the top, there are 4 icons on him. Those icons stand for Conman, Gambler, Hitman, and Thug. And he's all 4 types, but there's 4 different types that are used in the game. Think of them as suits on cards. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be drawing cards randomly from the gangsters and filling these up. But the first 4 cards need to show all 4 icons of that type. So here I turn over Matt Hosey, he's a hitman. And then I turn over Dion, and he's a gambler, so I'll put him in the counselor position. Then I turn over John Dillinger, he's a gambler and hitman. Those icons are already there, so I discard him. Harvey is a gambler, discard him because I already have a gambler. Here's Donnie, he's a con man, don't have one of those yet, so I put him in position 6 here. And then I turn over Lucky Luciana, he's a gambler, which I already have, but he's a thug, which I don't have, so I can put him here. Now this isn't necessary, really. You could just put out random people. We did this so that at least one of every type is represented at the beginning of the game. For the rest of the positions now, you just simply put out random gangsters from the deck. Doesn't really matter who they are. They could all be the same. So you just place those here, and you'll place 3 in these associate positions, and you'll put the rest of the gangsters here. Now, once you have all the gangsters laid out, everyone is ready to go. There's going to be one more phase in the setup phase, and each player is going to get to put out 3 influence, basically anywhere they want. One player is chosen to be this beginning person who controls the 1 ring here, the capo ring. The person who looks most like a gangster gets this ring, and they're going to go first. They're going to place 1 influence on anyone they want, and then the next player is going to place 1 influence on any person that they want, and so on and so forth, and you go around. So everyone has placed 3. Now, if the first player places 1 on the capo, that's fine, but they may not want that heavy responsibility, so if a different player places an influence on the capo, that player is given the ring here. Anytime someone controls the capo who's different than the person who has the ring, the ring exchanges hands. Now, the ring is cool, and you won't see it here on the video here, but inside the ring it says break ties. The owner of the ring breaks ties. So let's say you can see here that the black player here controls the capo. If the pink player puts a token on it, now there's a tie for control of the capo. Since the black player has the ring, he breaks ties. He decides that he will retain control. If pink puts another influence on it, the ring immediately goes to pink. And then if black puts 1 on it, pink keeps it, pink puts another 1 on it, and so on and so forth. So if for some reason the capo is ever taken out of the picture, he's killed or something, this ring will stay with the person who has the ring until there's a new capo, and whoever controls the new capo will instantly take this ring. So everyone's going to be placing 3 influence around the board, and then the game is ready to begin. Now, on the side of the board here, is a calendar track. The game takes place over 5 years. In each of those years, you're going to take a calendar piece, put it here, and go through the different phases and leave it here at the bottom. Bum, 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 down to the bottom. And when all 5 of these have a calendar piece on them, then the game is over. Now you can play with just 4 of them. In fact, I would recommend doing that for your first game, or even if you just want to play a somewhat shorter game, just basically playing 4 years. So you'll start with play influence cards, go all the way down to fill jobs, and then continue on to the next year. In my next video, I'll show you some of the phases.